What's up, High and Logical? Yes, I'm back again. I don't got no excuse this time. I really just didn't want to do it, and that's being truthful to myself and just the ways I have been trying to make sure that I do everything. So, I am back again after a long period of time. I want to say it was like November of last year when I did my last video, and that was for a school project. So, I have had plenty of time to rethink and analyze and take the necessary steps for me to have to restructure my life. And so that is pretty much what the title of this video is. Picking up the pieces. Yes, that is the title of this video. That it's all this about restructuring, and I'm just going to give you pretty much a breakdown of a couple things just to kind of keep you reevaluated on, for me, at least what I've been doing. Just some good analysis and roadblocks, some realizations and steps about some of these different things. And I'm hoping that a lot of these things will also help you guys progress in some way, shape, or form. Or if you just want to listen to the story and the good philosophy, then hey, I'm all here for it. But then after the realization of steps is pretty much just the signs. Some people call them coincidences, but I'm going to tell that right now that there is no goddamn coincidence at all. And then after that, we will just keep on going from there. We will just have a little positive message at the end of it, and I will conclude. But to start off, so I'm not at ISU anymore. I had a long time to really think about what I was doing and why I was there in the first place, and if it was actually something that was meant for me to do. I decided against it. I moved back. I'm not quitting school. I'm still in school. It's just at a college, community college right now instead of just a university college. So it's definitely been saving me some money. That is a big thing that I do really want to emphasize, is that if you do go to school, I'm not going to deny you to go to school. Just be smart about what you want to do. There's a lot of stuff that comes with it, and of course, obviously, money being spent. A lot of money that probably doesn't need to be spent, but yeah, at the same time, they need to pay for expenses somehow, no matter if they need to charge you just for you eating food. But that's just what it takes, and that's obviously the society that we live in now. Pretty much after that, it was like I've been wanting to come back. I've been staring at YouTube the entire time. Like, I keep looking back and just thinking to myself, like, gosh, why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? Why am I hitting such a big roadblock right now? It has just been a reevaluation of why I want to do it in the first place, and having to understand that I just need to put more action into it. I need to be doing it more. If this is something that I want to do for myself, if this is how I want to do my life or anything like that, however the outcome of YouTube may come, that's what I'm going to do, because it makes me happy. It brings me joy. It makes me want to strive for betterment and help people. And that's a big thing of why I like doing this in the first place, is to help people, even if it's the bare minimal, that I at least helped one person, 3 people, 5 people that actually watched this and actually took something out of it. And so lately, with how I was feeling beforehand, blurry vision. There we go. So pretty much how I've been feeling beforehand was that I just felt out of control. I felt like nothing was going anywhere. I was just constantly like trying to like find these like little things that would like to fill the void, so to speak, and give me some path or direction. And then realizing that a lot of the stuff that I was doing isn't really actually helping me do that, because I'm just running away from the problems that I really wanted to do in the first place. And so now that I feel a little bit more in control, I've definitely taken some, side resources to help maintain my motivation, to help maintain my mental thinking. I've been trying to work out more. I've been actually working out 3-4 days a week now, which has been really nice. I've been trying to take a little bit of a hiatus about what I'm doing with my time. If I just need to take 10 minutes and not do a damn thing, and I mean literally not a damn thing, I'm going to take that time to do that, to recenter myself a little bit and then continue on. I just had to do it actually before I started this video, because I was starting to feel a little anxious, but I'm sitting here like, no, that's not going to happen today. We're not doing that. And I've just been trying to open up, broaden my horizons a little bit, be a lot more assertive, and be a lot more straightforward with how I feel. And of course, everybody always hits these points, and I definitely hit these points multiple times. And I feel that it has came into a more fuller circle of understanding now for myself. And so now I'm just pretty much just ready to take on the world. So, and those weird little signs along the way that I've been getting to, they've just been crazy. They have just been utterly nuts for some of the signs. Like, I was getting so many signs about YouTube. I was getting so many signs about like this and that. Some of my other side projects that I'm doing and stuff too. That's just crazy. And so then it really just kind of gave me a wake up call to be more aware of what I'm actually doing for myself. And so then the analysis of why I've had this like roadblock, why I haven't really been making any progress. Because one, obviously I'm not taking any action, right? That is how we get stuff done. That is how we acquire the things that we want to do. Even though that I'm doing this and I may not make a lot of progress, me even putting out a video is still progress. Those little things are still making progress. Getting out of bed in the morning and being grateful is progress for yourself. If it's not anything that's related to, the grind or your dreams or anything like that, those little things add to progression in our lives. And so when I was having to do this complete restructure, is that I've had to completely like rethink even more the things that I've had to rethink on, and more evaluation and more time spent and more discipline. And so I don't know, it's been a weird cycle. And I can't say that it's ever really been something that I've been in before, because now I am so much more aware about all these things that are happening that I can feel more confident in how I can tackle them, instead of having to think it's going to go to the worst case scenario, go to a bad habit, think I already said worst case scenario, so thinking a bad habit is going to be the same thing, etc. That now I can finally be able to look at them and be like, I've been in this before, and I know that I can conquer it somehow because I have tools and I have different resources. And so it's just been having to drop a lot of habits, physical habits, mental habits, thinking habits. Those are things that have just been holding me back for way too long. These little like random misconceptions that people may have on me, or just the bullshit that freaking just comes towards the daily life, having to deal with other people's energy and having to deal with other people's problems. Having just to kind of understand that I need to be more in tune with myself and just be like, okay, I need a discipline. I need to actually have some habits that I need to pick up that can replace some bad habits. I need to have some better mental thinking and better mental clarity, positive mental attitude. We've talked about this before, PMA. Check that video out if you have not. It's a really good video. But having a more positive mental attitude does get us a lot farther in life. Yes, we can't do it every day, but that's completely fine if we keep going and going and going and going, and knowing that we can at least still try to strive to be better, then that's okay too. And God damn it, we just need to live life a little bit. Was what I already said earlier was my biggest wake-up call, is that I'm not living life. Nobody is really living life. We're living for other people. We're living for our jobs. We're living for money. We're living for all these things that are actually not us. They're not a physical form like we are. Some things are, some things aren't, but most people are not putting themselves first. Neither was I. I still have moments where I'm still not putting myself first. Sometimes I'm still people pleasing. Sometimes I'm still appeasing to, my workaholism and stuff, all that, those other things that I'm just appeasing to all these different things. And I need to live life more and not feel so chained down by my thoughts or other people's opinions, or what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing, because everybody all has this different mindset. Like, it just doesn't matter. And we need to just live life the way that we want to live it, and go live it. Go experience new things. Go out, even if it's a couple states away, if you live in the United States, or another country, if you're from another country. That there's just so much life that we're missing out on, but yet we're always glued to, our screens, which, hey, what else am I doing right now except you watching this video on your screen? But for you to be more aware that there's just more things than me just telling you. We can go watch all the things that we want on our phone, on social media, any form of device that gives us a video. Be like, okay, yeah, we know what Hawaii is like because we've seen it. No, it doesn't work like that. And some people will probably agree with that there's just a lot more of a difference when it comes to seeing it on your phone and when you're seeing it in real life. Like, the beauty of what our world actually has is there if you decide to look at what's beautiful or not. Just because something is ugly per se, like some random species or some architecture of like a different culture and stuff like that. Like, some people might not like that, but there's still beauty and design in it always. And another thing would be the noticing of cycles, which I already kind of minorly covered before, but I'm going to go in a little bit deeper, is because there was a point in time where I went to go visit my family about a month ago. And when that happened, I kind of had that realization of, wow, I've had this mental cycle before. Wow, I've definitely been here mentally and physically before. That those little like cycles are just a shaking of my foundation sometimes when they normally happen. But now that since I was able to be like, okay, like I've been in this before, but that doesn't mean that's a bad thing. Maybe now I can actually progress this time instead of not progressing or staying the same, not changing, so on and so forth. Is that instead of constantly questioning the what ifs about how I can get out of the cycle, I just need to start acting to get out of the cycle. I just need to start doing more to get out of the cycle, and more positive things, more healthy things, and not always striving to the addictions, to the bad habits, the negative thoughts, anything that's going to deter me from being able to progress forward. And not, and it's just enlightening to have all these lessons. It's enlightening to have all these things that I know that I did from the past that aren't really affecting me like that anymore. And I mean, it's still going to happen. There are still things that still affect me to this day, but I mean, we're human beings. We're emotionally intelligent human beings that we understand what it means to be in hurt and pain and love and all these other different things, that we can still acknowledge them and we can still move on. We can still be able to enjoy the things that are around us, even though that we are feeling in those types of ways. I don't think I actually even finished that in the way that I wanted to, but I'm going to work with that. So we're going to go along with that. And like when it comes to roadblocks, right? Like what do we really consider a roadblock, but whatever it is personally for ourselves. Like me personally, it's negating positive thinking, not negative positive thinking, negating the positive thinking that I'm just like, nope, that can't happen. Positive thought, no, that's just going to be thrown out the window, shoved in the back of my brain, that it's just going to be there. Like, yeah, it's in my subconscious, and it's always in our subconscious, but if we're just going to keep negating all the positive thoughts, then we're going to be negating all the positive things that need to come to us. And that requires us to have a positive mental attitude and be able to change and be better, and just to strive for better things and be able to still tell ourselves that we are worthy, that we are great of anything, that we are capable of anything possible, that we have all the power that we need, that we have everything that we do need on the inside instead of always on the outside. Like, yeah, sometimes to get to where we want to go, we do need some physical things outside of us, but on the inside, it's always about the drive, the motivation, the flame, whatever gets you up in the morning, whatever you strive for, whatever actually keeps you going. Like, those things are constantly what can get us ahead and not be a roadblock. But we got to make sure that we bring in the positive thoughts. And we got to ride the wave sometimes too. I'm preaching to the choir, and I'm also telling myself this because sometimes I do not ride the wave. I'm like, oh no, oh cool, oh no. That's usually how I ride the wave. And instead of just being like, like there's a difference with the attitude about how you're riding your emotional wave, about how life is progressing for you, right? And so then, yeah, when those downhills go and we're just consistently going down, it feels like we're never going to get back up. But as if it happens on one side, it's going to happen on the other side, and we're going to go back up no matter what, because we can't ever hit anything lower than where we've already been, right? If we have already felt like we have hit that rock bottom, then all we can do is just keep going up. Even if we have those little waves that feel like we're going down, there's probably been plenty of instances in my life, in your life, and other people's lives that have felt way worse than that we know that we're not going to get in that part ever again, that we're going to get out of that no matter what. And being my own enemy is kind of goes along with the negating the positive thoughts, is that I'm constantly fighting myself all the time, right? I'm constantly fighting myself about what decision I want to make, what I want to do, how I should do it, who I should do it with, what is it for, how, like, what is it going to achieve? That all of these things I'm just consistently fighting with myself, that no matter what, I'm not really making a decision. So I've been really strict on myself lately to be like, okay, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I got to make a decision here right now. I can't keep weighing these options all the time. And that is something that I apply pretty much in almost every aspect of my life, instead of just one or the other or a couple. Like, we need to be able to not think that we don't deserve the things that we need or that we want or that we could have. It's possible for any of us to achieve the things that we really want. And so we got to stop fighting ourselves a little bit. I got to stop fighting ourselves a little bit. We need to stop fighting each other on a different note, that, you know, we need to stop being our own worst enemies. We need to stop fighting ourselves. We need to start living the life that we want to, fight for it, achieve for it, strive for it, no matter what gets in our way, that those roadblocks will go down. That wall will fucking crumble no matter what. That's pretty much just more of a lot of the couple analysis and roadblocks. And now we're going to move on to some realization and steps of, yeah, live life, dude. We just got to live life. No, plain and simple. Do it your way. It doesn't matter how other people want you to do it. I wrote something down. I have it pulled up on my phone. I'll read it to you right now. This is something that I actually came up for myself. I mean, it's a conjuring and melding of a bunch of different things that people have already said, and I probably definitely said it too. But we can do it what we please in life. No one really cares. I don't care. You don't care. Like, if we care about it, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if other people do not care about what we do. But what other people do care about is if they see us fail. That's like the most biggest thing that I thought was kind of like mind-blowing for this own little realization for having for myself, is that it's like they only care to see us fail. That's when they care. That's when they feel like they have won, when we are not winning. And it's like, just do what you want. It doesn't matter if you're going to strive to be like some entrepreneur. It doesn't matter if you're going to strive to be a business owner. It doesn't matter if you're going to strive just to live life how you want it, even if you're living paycheck to paycheck. It does not matter if you're living to all these different mechanisms of your own way of living when other people have different ways that they want to live. And like and it's okay. Like me, for example, like I want to influence people to do what they want. If they love it, then do it. If they want to go strive and do it, then do it. I mean, I'm sure like I haven't really had that big of a positive impact, but I'm hoping to God that at least I'll have made that effort to give people some push to kind of get into a better direction. Some people want to suck you into what they're doing, and it's like, yeah, you can consistently do that, but yet I don't want to do that. That's not exactly what I'm doing here when I'm working for you, right? When I just want to work for myself. And I have an example for this. Like, so over these past couple of months, I joined a pyramid scheme. It was literally the same one twice, right? There was value in it. And it was the tools and the resources that they had to be able to get people to move ahead faster throughout specific algorithms, through specific lessons of things that you want to learn. And there's specific things, like it's like e-commerce and finances, stocks, and all these other things. But then, yeah, at the same time, they're just like, but it's either like, if you don't want to keep paying the subscription, then you got to get 2 people to come join. But they're really heavy on wanting to get people to join, so that it's like, no matter what, you're still getting other people who are just paying money for it. And it's not like it really is bad, right? When I say that there is valuable resources into it, but at the same time, it contradicts what people are actually wanting to do for themselves, and they're pretty much like going in a lie. They're walking into it with a lie of some concept of where they want to achieve something, even though that it may not be exactly what they wanted to do in the first place, just because it's a promise of money, status, or anything else like that, that I could not do it. Morally, I could not do it. I could not take money from my family, from my friends that are close to me, because just so I don't have to pay for the subscription. And that goes to the next part of just find your calling. Find of what speaks to you in the morning, what gets you out of bed, and what strives for you to do better. What do you strive for? What is it that you are living for besides your own life, right? But then you kind of encompass that into your own life so that you can pretty much for living for yourself because you want this. And it's focusing on everything instead of just one thing is a bitch, right? I do that. I am calling myself out right now where I'm consistently focusing on more than 5 things at once, of when it comes to striving, when it comes to the grind, when it comes to anything motivating to better myself, that I'm doing all these things at once instead of just doing one thing and then to find what my base is, right? And YouTube has definitely felt like my base. It is something that definitely keeps me calm. It is something that keeps me motivated. It's something that keeps me, I don't know, on my toes. And I like being able to use my voice. My voice is my tool. My voice is the biggest tool that I got. And what was really funny was that when I was doing classes at ISU, and when I was doing classes at back here, that sign kept coming to me all the time about, it's like, your voice is your best thing, your writing capability is your best thing, your storytelling is your best thing. Like, these are what I'm getting graded on, right? And yet these are all the subjects that I thought that I sucked at, right? Apparently, like, not like, and I'm not no math whiz, but when I couldn't understand math back then, and now I can understand math like it's nothing, now I'm sitting here, I'm just like, okay, well, this is actually a lot easier. But fuck the math. And going back to the skills and all the other classes that I did a public speaking. I did I did English because I'm in a communications major. I'm going to have to do English and writing and composition and like all these things that apparently these are my strong suits besides just using my voice. And so I'm like mind blown the entire time that I'm actually being able to write really good stuff, that I'm able to say really good things, that I can actually have a public speech tool and resource to use even for YouTube. And so then, like, every time I do a public speech, it'd be exactly like I'm doing a YouTube video, to be honest, except I'm kind of working on a script with this, but not really. Like, I'm kind of more freestyling this at this point. I'm just looking down for more of, like, references, to where that one I had to structure it about how I wanted to do it. So obviously I don't have no guidelines for this. I can do it however the heck I want to, with guidelines that are implemented on social media, right? Because I don't want to obviously like get myself banned for saying something. But that is also another realization that I had to do, is that I know that I hold back a lot, right? Like, I know that I'm very controversial, right, with like my opinions about how other people just need to kind of come together and not really worry about what other people believe in, but yet, you know, strive for greatness, believe in what you believe in. Like, it's very controversial, right? And I understand that now more than ever, that I've just been holding myself back from what I've been wanting to say. And it's not more to where my opinion hasn't really changed. Like, if it's a controversial topic and I'm sitting here in the middle ground because both of the parties are kind of making sense, but yet at the same time, like, I just don't really want to make an assumption off of it. But here I am, like, building my entire opinion, building all of my thoughts based on both sides instead of being able to form an opinion for myself. And so instead of having to be left or right, I can be a spiral, I can be a rhombus, I can be a square, circle, whatever the hell I want to fucking be, just because I decide about how I want to do it, as long as I'm not hurting anybody. And that is definitely how it should definitely be, as long as you're not hurting anybody. And I mean, hurting isn't just physical, it is also a mental projection and like verbal projection that you give onto other people that is also hurting people too. If you don't hurt people, then that I don't care what you do, as long as you're not putting people down just because that they are lesser than you. I like what do I got to show, right? Like, I don't got nothing at this point to really define me as having status. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you right now that we're still not really any different, just because that we think about two different things. Like, we can agree to disagree and still be friends. I don't really think that we need to have a problem with that, you know? But I need to release the chains to say what I want to say, unbag about how I actually feel about things, instead of having to always like appease to everybody. And that's what is something that I realized a lot in my videos past, like in this past year or even couple years, that it's like I'm always just trying to appease to everybody instead of, because I don't want to piss anybody off. Yeah, nobody likes confrontation. I don't like confrontation, but I've been more and more ready for confrontation than ever before. And it's not as defensive this time. It's not about just being like, oh, this or oh, that. Like, no, I actually have a way to be able to be confident with myself, just because I don't agree with what you're doing, or I just say what I want to say because that I feel this way. And I know that I can't control everything, and that's not really the point, but it's still being able to speak your piece is still going to be able to appease what's going on up here. Because if you cannot release what the heck you want to say, me, you, other people, we're all going to feel like shit, just because that we can't communicate. And we're consistently still in this whole thing where nobody wants to communicate. We're in a big thing of communication when all we're doing is communicating on this or like this, which I feel like I have a lot more direct eye contact with you and you to understand my tone, my voice, and what I'm actually trying to say, rather than me or you having to figure out, what does he mean by this? What is his tone? How is he actually feeling about this? Like, that's the things that make these misconceptions and miscommunication happen all the time, because nobody feels the emotion that's coming up. But yet we still have to speak from what we believe in and stop just speaking from what others want us to speak about, you know? Like, so I feel like that really is a big realization that I've had to take for myself, and something that I'm just trying to take out back like old Yeller and just bang that bitch. Really, like, I'm just not wanting to do that anymore. I just want to talk about the things that I want to talk about and not have to think that I have to appease to what other people believe in. If you believe in whatever you believe in, like I said, don't be hurting anybody. mentally, physically, or verbally. Just don't be hurting anybody. But the same cliche thing that has been popping up a lot more, that isn't really cliche, but it is really, really cliche, is that I shouldn't give a fuck about what the hell you think. I should not give a fuck about what other people think of me. But it's a lesson to also give to other people, is that if people are putting you down, that you don't need to listen to what they're saying. If they're going to tell you that you're not good enough, you tell them that right back that you are good enough, that you are worthy of the things that you want to do, because we don't need to be worrying about that type of stuff from people, not about what they actually think. There's such thing as constructive criticism, and before I was terrible at constructive criticism. I'll tell you that right now. Like, even still, some days I still kind of minorly struggle with it. But the more and more that I'm like able to analyze it and sit down with it, I'm like, okay, that really wasn't too bad. So I don't have to think that constructive criticism is something to not abide by. It is something that everybody needs. Even me, even you, even some of the oldest people that are older than me still need some constructive criticism. But we can't change people. We can only change the things that we do, the actions that we do, what we do in our life, but we cannot change what other people are doing at all. Another thing that's been helping out too is that, so I've been taking, like, instead of therapy, which I was taking at ISU, and I did take a little bit of therapy in these last couple months, I have not been doing therapy. I've actually been feeling pretty good without doing therapy, and I think it was just because I was also hitting a really big roadblock in therapy too. But then there's a reason why for this, and I gotta say, my life coach Casey is a goddess. She's impeccable, to be honest, to help me kind of realize these things. Just in these last actually couple months, or last month, I want to say, it's only been a month, which is crazy. But it's like, she told me the other day, she's like, why not just do it? And why not? What is there to do? It's like, she's been helping me just kind of like understand the things a lot more that therapy really wasn't doing. Therapy was more for my mentality, for my personal self, which I needed, most definitely. Yes, I needed that. But life coaching helps a little bit differently, where it's actually like focusing more on like my small goals, my big goals, about how I'm actually progressing, if I'm actually using a healthy habit, if I'm actually making a good decision or healthy decision, which of course, like, I'm still making all the decisions, but she's still helping me work through my decisions, like, why not, why this, why do I feel like this, why does it really matter, all these other things, like, and it's been helping out a lot for me to just hear all that from her, and then I can actually like chart a better path. Like, she actually like ran me through a manifestation test. I don't really know what you want to call it, but like envisioning and feeling about how it would feel. And I mean, like, never been mind blown like that before, to where you have the inner feeling about how it feels, and it's just nuts. It's just nuts. So Casey, if you are watching this, know I appreciate you greatly. Going back to the reconstructing of my videos and my understanding of not having to appease to myself, it's also just having to realize too that I just need to expand a little bit. Like, I don't need to always just constantly like need to stay on this flow of like philosophy and positive thinking and like all this mentality, which is what I'm good at, and I know that I'm good at it, so that's why it's never going to go away. But I know that I need to expand a little bit more when it comes to like, just bringing in people, which I've been trying to do, hint hint, wink wink. Just expanding on more of a broader topic, rather than having just to kind of have to talk about all these fine details, because I know I'm an overly detailed person. You don't gotta tell me that. I mean, shit, who doesn't love fine details sometimes? I know that I do, but no, I just can't stop not focusing on those little fine details, and I need to kind of just be a little bit more broader, be able to just know that I can talk about and do anything that I really want to, and it doesn't matter about what the heck we're going to talk about, because shit, if life ends tomorrow, then I'm probably not living it. And that's another realization that I was definitely having it too, was utilizing my time, because obviously time is never promised. There was always this like weird, like intrusive dark thought that I had, and it was always about like, even naturally, cosmically, universally, that our lives could end in a second, like instantly, done. We are all snapped away like Thanos, even though that didn't really happen, but utilizing that time and realizing, like, sitting there like that we have no time promised at all, makes me kind of like had to sit there in fear at first of like, oh my God, like I was sitting up late at night thinking these things sometimes just because I just couldn't go to sleep after that. Like sitting here, I'm just like, okay, I gotta do something. Like I gotta feel like I'm living life a little bit to where like, even though that like I could get wiped off the face of this entire universal thing that we call our earth, our cosmos, whatever, that it could just be gone in a flash of a second. We could all kill each other in a matter of a second. Like life is just not promised. And so that's why being able to utilize the time, not for these like fine tuning things, not for like consistent structure, utilizing the time for structure, but also utilizing it just to do the things that you want to do, utilizing the free time that you want to have of how you want to run your life, how you want to do your school, how you want to work, how you want to, so on and so forth, and be better, right? That it's just never promised, man. And I can't obviously emphasize that enough, that it's just like, take the opportunity now. Literally, if anybody literally hears me right now, 31 minutes into this video, take that opportunity. I don't care what it is. If somebody finds joy in it and you find joy in it, then you're going to find other people who are also enjoying the thing that you like to do. And of course, that's been utilized by Alan Watts as a philosopher. It's been utilized as logic. If you listen to logic, I just realized that I was wearing that as I said that too. But it's just, you will find other people who enjoy the things that you do, right? And like that line, that philosophy sticks with me the entire time. And it's definitely like another one of those coincidences that pop up that, you know, people will come across. If we live the life how we want to, then we will attract all the things that we need in our life, be it other people, be it other resources, be it other tools, so on and so forth, etc. Is that just utilize that time, man. Just utilize it. And it's like going back to even like the whole pyramid scheme. So like, it's like, if you want to do that, then go for it. Like if you know that it could be a promise and you know you could have a niche at sales, if you know that you have a niche at crypto, if you know you have a niche at that, cool. But just, there are other ways that you can utilize and find those tools and resources. Like go on the internet. You don't need to pay a subscription to do that. And what made it really hard too was because it woke me up a little bit to kind of like kick my ass a little bit, get out the fucking door and like discipline myself, right? But then when it's going up against my morals and I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't feel like a good person doing this because I feel that way. It doesn't matter if the other people don't feel that way because I don't feel that way. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not doing that anymore. But if it's something that you want to do, then go for it. Like the woke and winning culture isn't wrong, right? And we have a lot of that in our society, is woke and winning culture, that you gotta like, you know, stay hard, David Goggins. You know, you got to make sure that you're constantly not doing like all this bullshit. You can't game, you can't live life, you can't spend money, like you can't go drink. Like, it's called moderation, right? And I know that I need to have a lot more moderation too. But when it comes to doing the things that you want to do, even if it is just goofing around and having fun, there's nothing wrong with that. It's called moderation, right? You don't need to be going out and drinking every weekend. You don't need to be sitting at your desk playing games for 14 hours a day every day for a whole week, right? Like, I'm always thinking like all these things that I was doing was really bad. And I mean, yeah, I did have some bad habits. Yeah, I really did make things last a lot longer than they really needed to be instead of just taking it into moderation. But damn, there are people that are worse than me. There are probably people that are worse than you too. And that is something to definitely think about, that if you know that you can at least still make that little bit of progress, that you're probably progressing a lot faster than other people who aren't making those decisions at all, right? That they're not making smart financial decisions, that they're not taking the time to eliminate bad habits, that they're not taking the time to follow their dreams and live how they want to live, that they're just staying conformed and shaped and molded into something else that they did not want to be, or other people putting onto them, you know, trauma, personal development, so on and so forth. And so it's just like when you're utilizing the time, when you're having to find all the things that you really want to do, it's just like pretty much like, it's just stop playing around and making excuses. That's why I'm doing this video right now. I need to stop playing around. I need to stop making excuses. That's why I told you at the beginning of this video that I didn't even have any excuses about why I didn't do videos in the first place, because I didn't want to, and there was a reason why. And I sat here for months on end trying to figure that out, trying to push past out of the shell with, yeah, Casey's my life coach, help, therapy, motivational videos, and all these things, but yet I still just need to get off my ass a little bit. But what I have learned over these couple years is that going back again, that it does not matter what you do as long as you are not failing, that we are not failing ourselves. It doesn't matter if other people think that we're going to fail. It's about if we think that we're going to fail. And that's what really matters, is that if we know when we fail, morally, internally, mentally, physically, we know when we fail. Some of the failures that we think are failures are not really that bad. Failures are not failures. They're lessons. And I've had to make sure that I tell myself that. I'm going to make sure to tell you that and make sure to speak that out into the universe, that failures are just lessons for us to try again. And that's all we really need to do. But take the time for yourself. Rest. It's okay to sit around for a couple of days and not do a damn thing. It really is. And as long as you are not doing it in an unhealthy way, then you can do it how you please. You can spend 2 days just sitting on the couch for all it really matters. But if you know you're still progressing, then it does not matter about how you do it. But take the time to rest. I needed and still need to take the time to rest, to recuperate, to be here for myself, not at my job, not for what other people consistently need from me, not the other mouth-breathing, opinionated things and people that are gonna define me or you or us. It does not work like that. Take the time for yourself, but stop making excuses. I need to take the time for myself, but I need to stop making excuses. And that's some real fucking shit, right? Off the little soapbox, right? We're going to run through this last part real fast, to be honest. And it's really much more just to kind of like point out a lot more of like the signs, right? So, because I'm going to stop saying coincidences. I'm going to say signs. It makes it a lot more defining that way. So obviously holding myself back. Knew it from the get-go that that's a sign. That's a sign that I'm holding myself back. It's a sign that I need to be me and just express myself, because it doesn't matter. I'm me because of me. It doesn't matter about, there are other reasons why I am me, and that is because of other people, but I need to stop holding myself back from what I want to say, what I want to do, and how I want to live my life. But going back to the coincidences, is that, I found it in, the videos. I had 5 people that I could maybe think of off the top of my head. They're like, when are you doing it? What you doing? Have you been doing this? You still doing this still? And I'm like, instead of taking it more like, oh, I failed this because I haven't been doing it, I'm like, damn, that's a sign if I ever haven't seen one, to make sure that I step back, right? Some positive mental thinking, some positive mental attitude. That's how it needed to be. So a little Easter egg, or I don't know, whatever, reveal, is that I've been, I used to play music back when I was in still high school, and I haven't really left it, but I just haven't really picked up on it as much. But now that I have picked up on it a lot over these last couple months, that music has definitely been another one of those weird coincidences, signs of that I can do it, right? I always had these false thoughts and false premonitions from other people that I wasn't that good, or that I can't do this, or I can't do that, I can't sing, I can't play right, I need to do it this way. No, not anymore. That's not happening at all, because if we still can't progress and get better and practice, then how are we going to get better if we don't practice and progress? I don't really think that makes a lot of sense, but it makes sense to me, so I don't really think that doesn't matter. Next was the classes at school. I've already explained a lot of this too, my public speaking, my English classes. There was even another thing too, to where I actually had to take I had to find these little programs through LinkedIn and do videos and teachings and stuff on all that too. And there was a couple of signs in there of those two, of artwork, music yet again. Casey, my life coach, I'm telling you, Casey, I appreciate you greatly, but she has definitely been a big eye opener for me, just to be able to just breathe a little bit being me. And it's weird that of how just accomplishing my goals can actually make me feel this way. And I would highly recommend for anybody else watching this right now to do the same thing. Even if you don't need to go sign up for a life coach, at least just take the steps to progress, take the steps to advance, take the steps to do what you want to do, but make sure you're doing the things that you want to do and you're not doing it because other people want you to do it. That's some real shit. And then the signs of the path pretty much come with the other signs that I've really been getting, but I've also been getting it through life, honestly, just living life a little bit, that I've been getting a lot of signs of what my calling is, what my path is. And that's still I have to say that it could be entertainment, more than likely now than ever. Yeah, do I have a fine definition of what avenue of entertainment? No, but entertainment doesn't always specifically mean like comedy. Doesn't always specifically mean being on like a guest show, TV host, being on TV or movies. Like being a goddamn entertainer is different in more ways than one. And I know that eventually I'll get to that point where I know I can finally label myself as such. But stepping out of the comfort zone, definitely needed to do that. Another sign to definitely get off my ass. But, sometimes my confidence has a weird up and down wave. And sometimes like my confidence kind of seeps through my hands like sand, to where I have it for a moment and then it just gone in the wind like a bag. But it's been a lot more easier to hold on to the confidence that honestly I don't need to hold on to it. I always have it if I know that I have it here on the inside. So side note, if you want some confidence, make sure you find that on yourself. Find confidence on the inside of yourself. In the inside of yourself. I don't know, bro. I'm just having honestly get too good of a time with this. But I'm just kind of like, things are just starting to kind of make sense. And it used to kind of feel that when I was picking up the pieces, reconstructing myself, my goals, and my vision, that it's been hard. And I definitely can't say it's been easy. But I definitely can't say it hasn't been worth it for the things that I've learned, for the people that I've came across, for these grateful opportunities of waking up every day, realizing that I have total control about anything that I really want to do, and you do too. Anybody who is watching this right now, that you have complete control over the things that you want in your life. And even though that we are falling down the mountain, that little quote about where there's always a mountain that we're climbing, right? But the mountain that we climb the mountain that we carry is meant for us, that we're meant to climb that shit. We're supposed to keep going up. We're supposed to hit that peak. But even when we hit that peak, that's a new bottom for us to reach another top. It's a new bottom for us to reach the top, and then again, and then again, and then again. That's pretty much what life is all about, is just escalating. Escalating, de-escalating. If you fall, you just get back up. If you fall and you keep falling, most of the time that's usually on us, because we don't have anything to support ourselves. And I feel like that's no better way to really explain that metaphor than that. But of course, that is also from a song lyric too. What a surprise that yet again, music and YouTube videos always kind of seem to have to go hand in hand with each other. But another good coincidence. God damn it! I need to stop saying that. I said I wasn't gonna say it, and yet here I am saying it over and over and over again. Another sign that I definitely need to do more. That we definitely need to do more. If you feel the need to, is that we need to take the risk, no matter how big or how small. But we need to start taking risks. And people are scared to take risks. Don't get me wrong, man. I am scared of taking that risk too. But if we don't take it, then how are we going to learn anything? We can't step out of our comfort zone if we don't take risks. And that's another thing that I already mentioned earlier, was stepping out of our comfort zone. And I've been doing it more and more. And sometimes I still hermit a little bit, go back to some things. But it's okay if we go back a little bit just to get 2 steps farther. And that is also some real shit too, is that it's okay to take a step back, because most of the time that step back will get you a lot farther than you think that you're going to go. And that is for sure. And then when it comes to YouTube, I'll figure this out. I know I will. I know eventually that I'll embed it into my head that it's just going to keep going on up from here, and it is going to go on up from here. And I believe that more wholeheartedly than ever, which is really surprising. But even though that on the days that I might be struggling too, it doesn't mean that nobody else isn't struggling. Everybody's struggling. Our society is not in the best of terms right now, and I think that's a topic for another day, which we will definitely get to. I'm sure I definitely have a couple of my friends that have been dying to speak on something like that. But why not, man? Just why not? I don't want to complain about change anymore. If other people want to complain about change, that's fine. If you don't want to step out of your comfort zone, that's fine. I'm not going to stop you. There's nothing I can really tell you to do. There's nothing that I can't tell you to do. I mean, if I really wanted you to tell you to do something, I could, but I'm not going to do that, because you're in control of your life. I'm not in control of your life. And take that with a grain of salt, even for the other people that you surround yourself with too. That why complain about all these things? Why complain about change when it requires us to change? Change requires us to change. It's not that we change certain things and everything else is going to change. Like, we need to change first before anything else changes. It starts with us, and then it starts with our out exterior environment, and then it goes into inwards, outwards, community, society, government. Like, change still requires us to change. If you want to change as a group, as a whole, then you need to start changing yourself first. And I think that's some good, positive thinking to change some betterment in your life. Because, God damn it, how else can we strive to keep going as a society, as a human race, if we're not all willing to change? And so we just need to start picking up those pieces, reconstruct everything, and analyze, see what the roadblocks are, take the steps, take the steps, see those realizations. Find the signs, find the coincidences, find what makes you tick, find what gets you out of bed in the morning, find those answers. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm getting closer to those answers every day. Even if I'm not doing a video, I know that I'm getting close to it. And that's all that matters. So, without further ado, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, whatever time, whatever place, wherever you are. Know that you are blessed for waking up today. I am blessed for waking up today. Make sure you tell yourself that 3 times, that I am blessed to wake up today. Because life is too short, and we need to start getting at it and taking names if something gets in the way about what we want to do for ourselves. So, like, comment, subscribe, share. And I'm gonna emphasize that again. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. That I can't progress if other people aren't helping me progress. And all it is just a share button. If people don't see it, people don't see it. That's completely fine. But I do need, when I was talking about expansion, that is also what I'm talking about, is being able to be confident with telling you that just share. It's not gonna hurt. And if you tell me to share something, I'll be there, bud. So have a good day, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.